ज़हीर, पहले हैप्पी बर्थडे।
शुक्रिया।
45 साल के हो गए हैं, लगते हैं 21 साल के। You could still bowl for India. अभी भी bowling कर सकते हो?
हाँ, थोड़ा समय दोगे तो कर लेंगे।
His allocation of 10 overs, Zaheer Khan picks up a second.
You know, as a team going in the tournament as favourites and then living up to the expectations and lifting that cup was very, very special and satisfying.
Who's going to win the World Cup? Who is Zaheer Khan's pick for the World Cup? What does your head say? What does your heart say?
Oh, like that. I think head and heart are rooting for India. Well, a tournament like World Cup is the motivation, isn't it?
One final piece of advice you want to give this team. The one thing from as a World Cup winner that you want to tell the 2023 team as they go into this big World Cup.
I think soak in the pressure and be free.
Hello and welcome to this India Today special. The World Cup is here and India is hoping to win the World Cup after 12 long years. We're here at the Modernist at the Four Seasons Hotel, its exclusive lounge, with a very exclusive individual, the one and only Zaheer Khan, who was part of that winning 2011 World Cup team. Appreciate your joining us here,
Thank you,
Zaheer. I have to ask you and take you back to 2011. We're not too far away from the Wankhede Stadium. 12 years. Is that day still fresh in your mind when you won the World Cup?
Yes, of course. And I think the fact that every time the World Cup comes or every time you meet someone, you are constantly reminded of what we have achieved. So, special achievement, and every time you think about it, you feel very proud of the fact that you could achieve it for your country. It was in front of the home crowd, so that makes it even more special. And you know, as a team going in the tournament as favourites and then living up to the expectations and lifting that cup was very, very special and satisfying.
What's your favourite memory of that day? Something that you will never forget from that day?
Well, I think every bit of it, the whole lead up to the World Cup was very awesome for us. You know, we were talking about just imagining the journey, even though well before the journey even started. You know, so all the preparation was very good. But for me, obviously, the finals was something which was special, and I'm saying that because I had an experience of the final before, which was in 2003, which was not a very pleasant one. You reach so close to lifting the cup, you play so well, and then in the finals, you can't set the tone for the game. You know, so those were the memories I had, which was I looked at it as a lesson, you know, to be carried forward, and it came handy very well for the finals. So the first spell of the finals has got to be right up there.
You know, because I remember that first spell, 4 overs, 3 maidens, 2 runs and 1 wicket. To get 3 consecutive maidens is something no one else has done. It was quite remarkable. You got Tharanga's wicket as well in front of your home crowd, one of your home crowds in Mumbai. Therefore, you know, is that the key factor as we look at this World Cup? You were able to learn from your mistakes and were able to handle the pressure of a World Cup final. Is that going to be a key even now?
It's always going to be the key for anyone. I think, you know, when you're talking about the finals, what happens around that is something which can take you away from the game. You know, and when I'm saying this, I'm just talking about things which happen around just leading up to the game. Suddenly you know that you're just one step away, so all the emotions are just going haywire, and you start somehow not staying in the present, but starting to just go ahead that, you know, what's going to happen after you lift the World Cup. So that is the tricky part. I think for anyone to be able to deal with a scenario like that, it's very important that you stay in the present, you control the controllables, and that's what I look to do.
India starts its journey this weekend. It's also, by the way, Zaheer Khan's birthday this weekend, 7th October, boys. So happy birthday. I should have wished you right at the very start. But is that, as we start this World Cup, first, of course, Australia in a big match, in a way, against one of the favourites. Is it to take it a match at a time? Is that possible in a World Cup? Just focus on that match, live in the present. Is that the way you would tell this Indian team to approach? Don't even think about that next weekend we are going to play Pakistan. Just think about what we are going to do against Australia.
Well, you have the by and large plan. Like I mentioned, for us also it was just about maybe a year, 2 years prior to the tournament. You just kind of start having a conversation around that, that what it will be like, what kind of conditions you will be playing in, what will be the factors which will matter. And that just sets your tone subconsciously for the big tournament. So I hope that part is done. And when you're looking at the lead up, you're looking at that squad, there are a lot of positives. You're seeing all the players are in good form. They've got the runs under their belt. Bowlers also have ticked all the boxes nicely. You've seen a standout performance by each and every individual in that bowling lineup as well. Be it Kuldeep, Bumrah, Shami, Siraj. So those are all positives leading into the World Cup. Now, once the tournament starts, it's just about taking a game at a time, not getting too anxious as well. So managing those emotions is also going to be a very important part. And as a group, I think enjoying each other's success, enjoying each other's company, creating that atmosphere in the dressing room. These are all small little things, but matter a lot in a tournament like this.
Okay, I'm talking to India's greatest ever left-arm fast bowler. So let's start with the pace attack, because many believe that is one of the strengths of this Indian team. We're possibly going into this World Cup with arguably our best ever fast bowling attack. We can debate that. But when you've got Shami, Siraj and Bumrah, do you believe that you would play all three as far as possible? Do you think that's possible? And do you think pace is a better way to go into a World Cup, or in Indian conditions is spin the way forward?
Well, yes, it's the best attack, you would say, of the names which we've taken together. Okay, but so far leading up to the World Cup, we've not seen them play that kind of attack. So, they've been opting out for Shardul as their third seamer, and then Hardik to support as a fourth seamer. So that's how the stack up of the bowlers have been.
Would you play all three? Would you be tempted?
Yeah, I've been saying that.
You've been saying that, play all three.
I've been saying that Shami, Bumrah and Siraj is going to form a very formidable attack if you want to be aggressive. So, there are there are opponents which you will play against where that you have to take wickets to set the tone. And I think if you want to be aggressive as a tactical move, then this attack should be there. If you're looking at game on the whole, and that's how you planned, and your squad also has been picked according to that, then it's fine. There is no harm in playing the other option. But I've been saying that you can't be prisoners of your own thoughts. So you've got to be a little flexible in terms of tactically staying ahead of certain opposition teams. And that is something which I'm waiting to see, that I hope that flexibility is there.
So you're saying different teams in a way for different matches. If you were playing Pakistan, do you play aggressively? If you're playing Australia, do you play aggressively? How would you look at
depends.
These two? Because these are the two first big matches.
Yeah, it depends on how you set the tone, right? And depends on your thinking as well. So if you're thinking of taking 10 wickets, that means with the ball, you're trying to be aggressive.
That's the way you would go.
Correct. But in certain games, you don't have to do that in all the games. Certain games you say, okay, their bowling is looking strong, so you might need an extra cushion in batting. And for that reason, you add a bowler who can bat. So that should be the approach. So it should be the tactical approach more than having a fixed plan of saying, okay, this is what we feel and this is how it's going to go. First match is obviously going to be played in Chennai. So tactically, you want an extra spinner in your bowling lineup. So that makes the case for a spinner to come in place of maybe Shardul, which you'll see, and creating those spin trio to take the advantage of the conditions.
So in a Chennai, you might go with a Ashwin, a Kuldeep and a Jadeja.
Correct.
In other places, you would go with your three fast bowlers. Just two of those names in this attack that I want you to look at. One is Siraj. Remarkable what he did against Sri Lanka in that final. And are you impressed with just the pace at which he seems to have progressed to virtually becoming almost a spearhead of the attack.
Yeah, also Bumrah has not been around for a while,
That's
so
right. So he had the opportunity.
Yeah, he has grabbed the opportunity with both the hands, and it's great to see he's been bowling those overs day in day out, and I think today's day and age, when you're looking at the bowlers approaching, they're kind of approaching the game in a very measured manner. Where they're saying, okay, I have to bowl 10 overs or I have to bowl 12 overs. But Siraj is someone who's been consistently playing all the formats and not saying no for the captain to throw a ball at him. So that's the great sign. And that's something which I'm very happy to see. Has produced a lot of good performances and just he's getting better and better. But I think the key for his success is just bowling the overs which he has bowled at the highest level.
The other two I wanted to look at was Kuldeep Yadav, because he's become an X factor. I was at a discussion the other day. Many said he is the best spin bowler with a white ball at the moment. We tend to sort of suddenly rediscover players, but he seems to be bowling a little slower, more accurate, and with a more variety at the same time.
Well, Kuldeep is someone who is going to hold the key as far as spin department is concerned. I think the middle phase of the game is so crucial in ODI format. If you are able to get wickets in that phase, it's just going to put you in a very strong position going in the back 10 of your bowling innings. So from that point of view, I think if he's in the wicket-taking form, which he has been in, it will be a great help for the bowling unit to come together.
The bowling looks solid at the moment. The batting, are you as confident about the batsman? There was a lot of question marks over number 4. Who should play number 4? Is that settled in your view? Shreyas Iyer to go into most games at number 4. Rohit, Shubman, Virat, Shreyas and KL Rahul are your top 5?
Well, Rohit, Shubman, Virat for sure. And then at number 5 also you'll see KL. At number 4 is the debate which is still open, I would say.
Still open.
I think tactically, if you want a left-hander, you can always put Ishan Kishan there. You have Shreyas, who has been very good with spin. So that's the option which they have. And again, what Rohit also was very vocal about, along with Rahul, is that they want to have that flexibility, and I like that thought. So you can actually tactically approach the game. Depending on the form also, you can take these calls. Going in the World Cup, you've seen Bumrah was on the injury list. You've seen Shreyas on the injury list. You've seen KL was on the injury list. So all those boxes are ticked nicely. All those concerns which you had leading in the World Cup, they're actually been addressed very nicely. They've managed that scenario situation very well. Now the playing 11, it's all depends on who is really taking that spot and how the management is looking at. You just got to back that.
I interviewed another of your colleagues who won a World Cup, Harbhajan Singh, and he said he would pick Surya Kumar Yadav. He said, I want X-factor cricketers to play in a World Cup. And he believes Surya Kumar Yadav has an X-factor that will put the opposition on guard. Would you be tempted to take Surya Kumar, or is it again flexibility, choose him in a particular match against a particular opposition?
He does. I rate him very high. There is no doubt about it. He does possess that X factor. But I'll tell you from the leading up to the World Cup and how things have been moving before that. You've seen Surya batting at number 6. So when Hardik was not taking part in the previous series, you had Surya taking that position. So the plan and the preparation from the team management's point of view, how they are looking at it, is that Surya is going to be that number 6 position more so right now than number 4. So it's going to be between Shreyas and Ishan Kishan, I would say, for that number 4 spot. And it's going to be a tactical call which the management will make.
And then you've got your top 3. Rohit Sharma is arguably, possibly playing his last World Cup, maybe even Virat himself, though Virat could be fit at 40 as well. And you've got Shubman Gill. How good is Shubman Gill? He's down with dengue. We don't know whether he'll play the first game, but he should be there for most of the World Cup. Could he be the new, you've seen Sachin, you've seen Virat, Could Shubman be in that same league? Or am I running ahead of myself?
No, well, look at his year. The year 2023 has been phenomenal year for him. He's been scoring hundreds, double hundreds, across formats, very consistent. I've actually mentioned that, he's going to be the leading run scorer for this tournament. That's the kind of year he's having.
Shubman Gill will
Shubman
be
Gill.
the leading run getter of the tournament.
I mean, he's got the potential.
Yeah.
He's batting in the top order. It all depends on how you set the tone for the tournament. For a batter like him, if the first couple of innings he gets into the World Cup with nice innings under his belts, then it's just going to be a really great World Cup for him. And I will not be surprised if he's one of the leading run scorers for the tournament.
There are those who believe, and you watched him very closely, Rohit Sharma may be not at his prime in the way he was 4 years ago. Is that fair, or do you believe experience matters above all else? Same thing with Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli still runs his runs harder than anyone else in the team. So he seems fitness is not a problem. Or do you think that they need some extra motivation of a World Cup? Rohit's never won one. Virat could be the first to win 2 World Cups, first Indian to win 2 World Cups.
Well, a tournament like World Cup is the motivation, isn't it? For all the big players we've seen, also these kind of emotions really get the best out of you. The facts which you rightly put it out there right now, leading in the World Cup, all these questions, okay, when you answer these as a player, it just gives you a whole lot of satisfaction. So the World Cup is that kind of a tournament where all the participants are actually thinking in the similar way that 4 years, who knows where I'm going to be. I'm not sure whether I'll be part of another World Cup. Yes, when you're a youngster, you're thinking differently, but the players which you're mentioning obviously will be thinking about this World Cup being the last, and they will be motivated because of that. So I think it's a great sign for a team. And for Rohit also, if you're saying that once you get in the World Cup, you want to save your best performances for this. So that motivation, that inspiration is always going to be there. So is Virat.
I want to go to the big matchup, India versus Pakistan. You played a big match, India versus Pakistan, in Mohali in 2011. Now it's in Ahmedabad. India going to, according to you, clear favourites? Are we a much better team than the Pakistanis, or would you say it's a 50-50 battle?
So I would say India is favourites, and I'm not just saying that, the numbers are also backing that. And in front of your home crowd, it's a big stadium, 120,000 people. You know what's happening around the ticketing situation, so you know that is going to be every seat of that and more will be taken for sure for that game. So that's going to create that atmosphere which can overwhelm anyone. And I think that is also one hurdle which Pakistan team will have to cross. So that pressure of the crowd which they'll have to deal with, and the record which is not in their favor, especially with ICC World Cup tournaments. So all that add up, and you're looking at both the teams as well, you know that India will have that edge going into that match.
Because they've got possibly the best left-arm fast bowler in the world at the moment in Shaheen Shah Afridi. They've got in Babar Azam someone who's a top-class batsman. You're saying India advantage, but these are the 2 people to fear in that game?
Well, with regard to batting, I think they are overly dependent on Babar for sure. You look at Rizwan is another guy who, with the bat in hand, has got a good record. Iftikhar is another guy, I think, So these 3 will be taking that load of batting department. And with bowling, missing Nasim Shah is a big blow for their World Cup campaign. Shaheen Shah and Haris Rauf is definitely going to be the one to watch out for and be careful of. There is no doubt about it. It's how you set the tone. I think for Pakistan, if they're looking to bowl first, and if these 2 bowlers are not creating that impact up front, then things can go downhill from there.
I want to ask you, who's your favourite therefore? If you had to pick your 4 semi-finalists, I've been first asking everyone 4 semi-finalists. Pick your 4 semi-finalists for us.
See, I've been saying I'll start with the dark horse. Because see, when you're looking at top 4, most of the guys are saying the same thing. But I think for this World Cup, South Africa to me is looking a decent team.
Okay.
And definitely going to be a dark
So that's your
horse.
dark horse.
Yeah.
Then
India, England, Australia.
England, despite losing so badly to New Zealand.
Yeah, they had a tough start, but I think they will be able to recover.
Okay, so South Africa as your dark horse, England, Australia, and India.
Yes.
So you're keeping the New Zealanders out. Okay, we'll.
And I had actually said Pakistan as my fourth team.
Ah, interesting. So you think the Pakistanis, you could still have a second India-Pakistan semi-final,
Could
possibly
be.
in Kolkata.
Could be.
When you now look at the game, you've played multiple roles. You're administrator, you're director of the Mumbai Indian teams. Is that more difficult being out there and watching and handling a Mumbai Indian team than actually playing for India? Is the pressure just as much?
Well, I think just generally when you are not playing the game, when you're playing the game, things are in your control, right?
That's right.
If you feel something, you can do something about it. But when you are just doing things around the game and then seeing what's happening on the field, that does add to that extra bit of pressure. So, but you adapt, you figure out your ways. I really enjoy my job, so there is a great satisfaction in staying connected with the game. I get to see a whole lot of youngsters coming through, seeing them, trying to see how you can help them, trying to see who is going to make it, who is not going to make it. It's very exciting. And also in some way or the other, throughout my playing career, that came very naturally to me in terms of just putting hand around someone's shoulder and saying that how things should be done or how one should approach the game. So I'm just trying to extend the same approach in my philosophies here as administrator.
I want to ask you therefore in conclusion, you've given us your 4 semi-finalists. Who's going to win the World Cup? Who is Zaheer Khan's pick for the World Cup? What does your head say? What does your heart say?
Oh, like that. I think head and heart are rooting for India. And I'm just saying it because of when you're looking at the squad, it's looking a very well-rounded squad. You look at the individuals who've been part of the team, you look at how they've been shaping up. And when I'm saying shaping up in terms of leading into the tournament, you look at their form. It's just about starting the tournament right.
As good as your 2011 team? Is 2023 versus 2011? If there was a matchup between the two, who'd win?
I think Indian cricket right now, if you look at the last, say 11 to we are in 23 now, so 12 years. You look at how the cricket has evolved, and you look at who is ruling the world of cricket right now. I think you would say India.
No. 2023 team of India would defeat your 2011 team?
No, it's not about defeating.
In a perfect matchup?
It's
Zaheer
not about
Khan, Sachin Tendulkar, Yuvraj Singh versus Bumrah, Shubman.
See, I would say you have to defeat who you are playing against, right? So you can't compare the two teams in that way. I'll say that this team for sure has the potential to go the distance.
Okay. One final piece of advice you want to give this team. The one thing as a World Cup winner that you want to tell the 2023 team as they go into this big World Cup.
I think soak in the pressure and be free.
Soak in the pressure and be free. Lovely words there, Zaheer. It's been a pleasure talking to you. You've been, as I said, the finest left-arm fast bowler this country has produced. And as a World Cup winner, you've done so much for the game and you continue to do that with the Mumbai Indians team. So thank you very much for speaking to us. The one and only birthday boy. Happy birthday again. How old are you? 21?
Yeah, 21. Just about that.
Ready to bowl?
Ready to bowl.
So if you're looking for someone in a World Cup final to bowl 3 maidens in a row, you know where to turn. The one and only Zaheer Khan. Thanks for watching. Stay well. Namaskar.